The other day, I came across a series of videos where this guy, I don't know his name, but presumably he has one, is taking a paperclip and trying to trade it in for progressively more and more valuable items until eventually he winds up with a house. Now, at the time that I'm saying this, he has not gotten to the house yet, but he has taken the paperclip and traded it in for all kinds of things that are objectively much more valuable than a paperclip. He got a necklace at one point, a diamond ring, a bunch of other things, a car, some tires, things like that. The point is, he has managed to take his paperclip and get at things that are much more valuable than the paperclip simply by going out into the world and asking people to swap this thing and letting them know what it is that he's doing. He's not even really, at least from what it is that I could see, trying that hard. He just tells people, says, hey, would you like to participate in this? And some do, some don't. But he's not running around crazily sales pitching anyone or anything. He's just trying. And that right there is a perfect example of how the universe works. It does not matter what it is that your goals are. It doesn't matter how ridiculous or unrealistic what you are trying to accomplish is. If you are trying to get something, the universe will give you that, give you what it is that you are trying to get in return for your efforts. When I look back at my life, and I think about when I was 18 years old, I was sleeping at a bus stop. I was homeless. And a few months later, I moved into an extended stay, one of them little cheap hotel thingies where you could, you pay for like a week at a time or whatever. A few months after that, I moved into a tiny little shitty apartment in the bottom corner of some quadruplex. And maybe a year or so after that, I moved into a shitty apartment. Then I think it was like 2 years after that, I moved into a less shitty apartment, then a less shitty apartment. Then I was able to buy my own condo. And I got a small house, I got a bigger house, etc., etc., all of those things. But the point is, I managed to go from where I was, which was nowhere, to where it is that I am currently. And while I am not a rich person, I am far from a poor person. And if I am honest with myself and looking back, I didn't even really try that hard to do anything. I half-assed my way through the majority of my life, but I was never not trying, at least never not trying for a very extended periods of time. And every time I tried to do something, I got something in return. I got what it was that I was after. When I didn't have a car and I went out and I tried to get a car, I wound up with a car. When I wanted a better job, I went out and tried to find a better job, and I wound up with a better job. Because, again, much like the paperclip guy proves, when you want something and you go after it, you will get it, as long as you try. But most people are not even willing to do that. So if you have been spending forever in the same situation that you are in, the same shitty relationship, shitty job, shitty house, shitty apartment, shitty financial situation, shitty body, wishing that you were somewhere else and wondering why you can't get there, it is because you have not tried. You have not exerted any sort of effort to getting yourself in a forward direction. You have not tried to gather any forward momentum. Because if you had, then you would have. If you tried to take steps forward, then you would go forward, regardless of how fast it is that you walked, regardless of the pace that you strolled at, which I am aware is the same thing of how fast it is that you walk. But the point is, if you try long enough to move forward, you will move forward. Again, it doesn't even have to be that hard. You just have to try. You just have to have some sort of intention behind your actions. But the vast majority of people just sit around waiting for things to be different and wishing things would change. They watch the news and track the politics and hope that one of these politicians is going to come in and magically take all of the rich people's monies and give it to them and improve their house and improve their, hell, probably their spouse as well. Who knows what goes through these people's minds, but they just sit around waiting for someone else to do something. And they go to work every day, and they think that because they go to work and they try in some capacity at their job that they should be getting ahead, but they're not actually trying to get ahead. They're just trying to do what it is that they have been assigned to do, which is functionally trying to stay exactly where it is that you are, which is why everyone stays exactly where it is that they are. They make zero effort towards forward momentum. If you go to the gym, there are countless people who are in amazing shape. They look like bodybuilders, they're super strong, like the powerlifters, whatever the case may be. They're in great shape, they look great, and they have absolutely no idea of any of the science or whatever behind the best way to lift or the best way to work out. They don't know the biomechanics of the lifts that they are doing. They might not even know what muscle groups some of their exercises happen to hit, but they go in there and they do it anyway because they know if they go and they try and they exert themselves in that capacity, they will get in better shape. And what do you know? They get in better shape. There are all kinds of people who go out and succeed monetarily with no real business acumen or anything along those lines because they try, because they go out and they put in the effort. There are people in amazing relationships simply because they tried to get in one. So if you are not where it is that you would want to be, it is because you are not trying in a forwards direction. Life is not that difficult. It is not very hard to acquire anything. All you have to do is fucking try.